welcome, nephews of the universe. Talking with Uncle Luis about your story, my story, and everyone's story. Where we will talk about your experiences, your real life, your ups and downs in the trajectory of your daily life. Where you come from and where you are going, what you have learned from your experiences, what are your dreams, your achievements and your talents. Where we hope that some human being benefits from your story, if he or she is in depression or difficult times, they can find a voice of encouragement, hope, love and a lot of faith. God is by your side, never forget it. Talking with Uncle Luis. These are our stories. We are not advising personally or financially. We are not qualified professionals. Search and do your own research.
Bienvenidos, sobrinos del universo. Conversando con el tío Luis, sobre tu historia, mi historia y la historia de todos. En donde hablaremos de tus experiencias, tu vida real, tus altas y bajas en la trayectoria de tu diario vivir, de dónde vienes y para dónde vas, lo que has aprendido de tus experiencias, cuáles son tus sueños, tus logros y tus talentos. En donde esperamos que algún ser humano se beneficie de tu historia, si él o ella se encuentra en depresión o momentos difíciles, pueda encontrar una voz de aliento, de esperanza, amor y de mucha fe. Dios está a tu lado, nunca lo olvides. Conversando con el tío Luis. Estas son nuestras historias, no estamos aconsejando personalmente, ni financieramente, no somos profesionales calificados. Busca y haz tu propia investigación.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, nieces and nephews of the universe, anywhere on the planet that you are. This is your Uncle Luis, the one and the only one. Making no mistake, so Tio Luis. So we're here in a great conversation today. Oh my God, I feel amazed on this conversation we're gonna have today. Well, we had a one in Spanish, now we're gonna go in English. I hope more English-speaking people will come to talk to my videos, because I think through life stories we can give back to the world, to the universe, what we be learned, what we be gained. So for me, it'll be an honor to have a Mr. Robert here. Rob, that's what we call him. So we hoping we're gonna have a great time. And let me go on the English part, the Spanish part, to let them know to put a closed caption, and that way they can read the subtitles. It's the same thing I do when I go Spanish. I always say something in English, and that way y'all can put a closed caption. So now it's the other way. We're gonna go ahead and go live with Mr. Robert. It's gonna be amazing. I tell you, we're gonna have so much fun. Let me see. And so I'll be back in English in a little bit. All right. Buenas tardes, buenas noches, buenos días, sobrinos del universo, en cualquier parte del globo terráqueo que se encuentra. No se confunda, este es el tío Luis, el único, el 21 tío Luis. Así que no se vaya a confundir con otra imitación que haya por ahí. Somos the one and the only one, como decimos. Vamos entonces a estar en inglés, casi mente, no vamos a estar en español hoy, en esta, porque él es americano y vamos a hablar de su vida, de lo que ha pasado en su vida él, para poder darnos este mensaje que tenemos. Gracias por estar aquí. Sé que va a ser una buena conversación con él. Estoy tratando de compartir, pero no puedo encontrarlo. Vamos a ver. No, tampoco. Bien. Después miramos eso. Gracias por estar aquí. Gracias. Así que ponga su ¿cómo se llama? Subtítulos para que puedan entender lo que hablamos. los que no hablan inglés, ¿verdad? Pero los que hablan inglés y español pueden entender prácticamente lo que vamos a hablar. Voy para hablar en inglés ahora. No soy perfecto, pero ahí la llevamos. Anyway, so we back in business in English again. So we're proud to present Mr. Robert. How we call Rob is how we, I talk to him all the time. So it's a pleasure to have him here. He's a book of knowledge. I'm gonna learn a lot today. So we're gonna bring him to the screen. He's been ready. He's been ready about an hour ago. I'm the one to take the time for that. Thank you to the TikTok people here. We're gonna put Instagram to go live because we're gonna bring him to the screen. Now we live in YouTube, which is the main channel. We are live in Facebook, Twitch, Rumble, and we're gonna go ahead and share with X, and that way we'll have X too here, and we're gonna have a great time. Okay, we ready to go. We're gonna bring Mr. Robert on the screen, and we're gonna go ahead and say hello to him. Good afternoon, Mr. Robert. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Theo?
We're doing fantastic. Very happy to have you here.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that you invited me into the room and to share a little knowledge, and it'll be good stuff. But before we get started, I do believe that a young man named Luis had a birthday last week.
Yeah. Hey, I want to let you know I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna finish it up today. I hold up this birthday gift, and that way I can have it. The last batch I'm gonna eat is today with you here talking. Thank
Excellent.
you.
And go ahead, Theo.
I said thank you very much. I'm the one that should be thankful to you, sir. It's a very honor to talk to you in this platform. We are live in 8 platforms right now as we speak. So thank you for being here. Thank you for my birthday gift.
You are welcome. I hope you enjoy it. I've eaten too much. I'm getting fat.
Talking about eating too much, I got a big belly, man.
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Okay, so how's your day going?
Good. So just, I moved back to Southwest Florida, in December, but as you know, sir, more than anybody, I travel a lot, and so I don't have much time. So over the weekends, I'm huffing and puffing and unboxing stuff and trying to figure out what's good to keep and not good to keep.
And that's what I
work's
said.
going good, and life's going good.
Very good. Very good. That's what I'm saying. I'm very thankful because I know you travel a lot. I know you're basically very busy, man. And to take this couple hours to sit down with me, that means a lot. I see you a very good friend, a very good client, because you travel a lot. So I make money with you.
That's the name of the deal, my friend.
It's how we roll. We got to make some money somewhere.
That's
you
right.
Go out there, make a good sell, and I'm over here hoping that you go many times a week.
Yes.
But anyway, like I said, I'm very thankful because most of the Americans speak English, or the English-speaking people, they get kind of nervous. I don't know why, to share part of the life story or what they do, and they find that kind of weird, I guess, in a way. They say, oh, I don't have no story to tell. I don't have anything. We don't know. It could be the simplest story, and that can be impact somebody's life. That's a very important. With one life that you help with your story, the purpose is already a winner.
You know, and I think that's really interesting, Tio, that you say that. And this is why I say there's a mentor that I have in my life. He's he would be an uncle's age, not a father's age. And he's taught me so much. And when I was working with him, and we don't work together in the same company, but we were going through my resume, my CV, and as I was talking to him, I said, well, I'm not going to go through the earlier stuff. He said, no, I need you to go through the early stuff. And as he went through that deal, he said, you're a builder. Like, you know numbers and you're building stuff. And so he's like, I don't want you to leave that out. And I never thought of myself as a builder, but as I looked through the jobs that I had and what I was truly successful at, it was building. It was building, which was very, very interesting to me. And I will say from building, it went on to fixing stuff, which is not always fun if you have clients. You've had clients in the past, they're not happy, you got to fix stuff, right? So,
yeah, that's the truth.
I mean, that's just life.
Yeah. So that's very good. That's see, you got a lot of stories to say. You see, that was already one story right there. You know.
Sorry, I don't mean to bogart.
It comes naturally. When you are a giver to the world, when you are generous to the world, it comes naturally to say things that you know. You just share what you know, and that's what we do. And so like I said, I'm very happy to have you, and we're gonna go look forward to have a great time today. I know. Good thing we broke the ice smiling. And that's a very important thing. We already smile. We got the ice already broken. We are already relaxed in mode. We know we're gonna eat some of that good gift that you sent me. And so you might hear me chewing that. As we go along, I know you. We talk, while we travel to the airport and back and forth to your home. But the people that would hear this video through the years to come, this video is going to be here on YouTube for a long, long time. This video is going to be till whenever YouTube disappear, which I hope it's not anytime soon. Basically, what we do, we leave a legacy for the ones that come behind us. I mean, your nephews, other relatives, they want to see something about Rob. You know what I mean? Sometimes we don't say, well, why are we going to put that in there? I used to be scared talking to people, And after I start liking it, I say, I live in my life story right here. So my grandkids and other families, they can come 30 years from now and see this, what I left here. And they can learn something, what was happening in that time. So I think you're doing a great thing. My channel doesn't go, hundreds of people in one time, It builds up. Little by little, people are listening because they're curious to know other people's, what they think, what they went through it. Because not everybody has a perfect story. You know, you through your life, I consider you are a man a lot of success. And but whatever you went through, nobody knows. People think you got to be successful because you're lucky. No, it's because you work hard for it. You know, so this is a very important thing to teach, even though that we're not here to tell the people what to do. This is just a life story. You know what I mean? So hopefully they'll learn from this. And I want to start because I didn't know that you make a book and make a book that it went to 2017 was the best selling author there.
Yes.
When I saw that
Categories.
place, I go in bio and I said, "Oh my God, this guy's a genius."
I don't know about that, Theo.
It takes a talent to do that, man. I know you are humble. You would say, "Nah," and to me it is, but and a lot of people too. So I want to know first a little bit about your profile, and that the way the people would know who we talking to.
You know, the so I will say very publicly, I'm 57 years old. I might be 58, but I think I'm 57. And so, you know, you learn things along the path. It doesn't make you smarter, but it does give you wisdom. And my first book I wrote because people would always say, "How did you do it? How did you become, you know, a vice president at a Fortune 500 company at age 35?" And I was like, "Gosh, I really don't know." I didn't have any idea. And so the more that I took notes, I said, all of these people are coming to me asking me how you did this. I don't know. It wasn't calculated. And then they said they all of them asked the same 10 questions. I was like, these are not the 10 questions you should be asking. Everyone asked that. Think about the 10 questions you don't ask. And that's what the book's about, is really how to hack the corporate ladder, right? And there's no magic. And it was written pre-COVID, so there's some stuff that we might treat differently today. But boy, it is very cathartic. It just like pulls something out of you. And I will say, Tio, I have to say, I'm ashamed. I grew up in South Florida. I don't speak Spanish. I know you have a lot of Spanish listeners.
Hola.
I know you have translation on, but I apologize for that because.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. You know.
And so really looking at it, I tell a very it's a very hard story for me to tell about a lady named Angela that I was a very young manager, and we were closing an office down, and we had 2 offices in the country, and they were huge offices, like 2,500 people each. And it was going out of business. And I told my partner, this was back in paper. This was not electronic, right? So it was a while ago.
Yeah.
And I picked up a bunch of paper files and I said, who wants to do Angela's work? She's running around the office looking at people's emails and phone numbers. Next thing I know, Tio, she was in my office and she was crying. And she had every right to do that. I was young. I was stupid. I should have done her better. but I tried to do her better by writing this story in the book. So I'm very vulnerable in the book.
Well, okay. So what is what you do, or what things you've done through your life? I know you have a long career, but you've been done in a little different things through that process.
Yeah, so I think like building on the things that we learn and trying to become a better manager, trying to also become a better, I'll say, solution provider. And as you know, I work in the, they call it business process outsourcing, but it's really call center, but we do more than just voice. We do other things. You learn how to service your clients. More than that, you learn how to service their clients. And from my perspective, the most important, you learn how to serve your own employees. And where I think that is super important is that when we start looking at our clients, that is huge. When we look at the people that actually talk to them, that is so important, because happy employees make happy clients. I have looked at a lot of research, and I cannot necessarily find any research on that, but we know it. You look at Southwest, you look at a number of different insurance companies, and it does truly work. So so I didn't mean to digress.
No, that's good. That's
From
part of what we're gonna do. But I'm very want to know. I know you're a very good, talented selling person. You even make a book out of that too. But what do you like? You're in accounting, or you are, how do you say, all different things that you've done and specialize in, management and all that stuff, that you have that background. So
yeah. So I have a number of different things, and uh, Luis, you take me a different way. If you get bored of this conversation, that's fine.
yes,
But I'm gonna go back pretty far. Um, I was hired in right out of university as a leader of people, and I mean, at 21 years old, 22 years old, I didn't know how to lead people. However, I will tell you, my very first assistant, she is still friends with me. She's coming down here to Florida next year, and she's long since retired. So I think, Luis, as we talk about anything we're going to talk about today, we want to talk about relationships.
okay.
You and I have a relationship, right?
Yes.
That's why I sent you a text yesterday, and it wasn't about this. It was about something else, right?
Yes.
So that's what I really believe. It is about relationship. And so as I looked into that, I wanted to make a little more money, right? And so I was hired as a lobbyist. And lobbyist in the United States can be a dirty word. However, I was lobbying for manufactured housing, mobile homes, right? Lower cost housing for people that might not be able to buy a bigger house, right? And so that was super important to me. frankly, I didn't get along with my boss, and so I had to make a different decision, right? And so I moved on and worked for Deutsche Bank in Germany. And that was a fantastic experience. And they closed things down. Then I went back to Conseco Insurance, and that's really where I got my hands dirty in the insurance business. And so I dug in there and started building a brand for them that was very successful. They became insolvent. So the point of the story is, don't ever get discouraged. Don't get discouraged, because every negative thing that has happened to me in my career, the next thing's been better. It's always been better. And, you know, call it the universe, call it God, call it kismet. I don't care what you want to call it. It will be better. Believe in yourself, apply your skills, and jump. And you will be fantastic. That is my belief. With Conseco, this is where they became insolvent. And 2 days later, on the day that I found out I didn't have a job, I called my senior vice president, and I did not work directly for him, but I was like, Ken, I know you're retiring. I still have to work. Again, I was maybe 30 or 32, something like that. And I said, I need a job. He said, weird thing. My buddy Tim called me from Detroit today, and he needs someone with your skill set. 2 weeks later, I had a job. And so it's about your network. I was in that position, and they said, we're walking away from a very large car manufacturer, at the time the largest. It might start with a G and it might end with an M. So we were walking away from that contract, and my boss called me and he said, we have a position in Europe for you if you want to move there. I said, I will. That we negotiated Monday through Thursday. On Tuesday, I was living in the Netherlands. So you can't be afraid to take risks. So Theo, I'm sorry, I probably went way off the rails on that.
No. But this is what's about. You know, I'm not the one, the person at the event. It's you. So people are interested to know what you had to say. Not me, because I talk here a lot, and I talk about all my mind over here. Sometimes I go by myself live, and I like the idea that you're given what you know, because that's what I need to learn from. So what is your degree? And business?
Yeah. So I have an undergraduate degree in political science, and then a master's of business, and then I also have a certificate in, actually it's social consciousness. It's nonprofit governance, but it really is about social consciousness. And I have that from, I got it at Harvard. So it's a wonderful program. It was not a big program. I didn't really go to Harvard. I'm not suggesting that. But it was a really, so Theo, this is what they teach you. When you have an objective, what are we actually trying to accomplish? And that's one of the most important questions that has ever been asked to me, whether it's your professional life, your personal life, whatever it is. Go to a yard sale. I don't care. What are you trying to accomplish? It's a really nice question.
So figure that out and you find your way.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I never had to somebody tell me about that question particularly. So
And I don't know, to go back to my business, and I'm not trying to sell that.
yeah, no. Go ahead, man. Do your
But
thing.
what I would say around contact centers, right? And contact centers are both voice and back office, like paperwork, right?
Yeah.
But what are we trying to accomplish? And I am so very passionate about this, as you know. Of course, every person that works on the face of the earth needs to make some money, because we have to eat and pay the electricity and stuff like that. But if there's passion around it, what are we trying to accomplish? And when I look at contact centers, really what we're trying to accomplish, and I know it doesn't always feel like this because not every employee understands this, we really want to accomplish, I'm going to call it resolution around the problem, right? Tio, have you ever called into a call center to just say hello?
Yeah. I did before, yeah.
And so you've called into a call center, but you didn't want to just say, how's your day going? Right?
No, never.
You had a problem you needed to
I had a
fix.
problem with that. Yes.
And that's the only reason, normally, the only reason that people call into a call center. Most people there actually want to help. I will say one of the reasons that you and I get frustrated, and other people on this stream, is because the folks are not educated in. I don't mean they're not smart. What I mean is they don't have the tools. They don't understand the different rules of the company, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's very, very hard to find. I'm going to give you a personal story. Since this is a live cast, I'm not going to tell you where it is, but yesterday, an ATM machine chewed up my ATM card. I was
Oh,
trying to buy new tires across the street,
oh
and
my
it
God.
chewed it up. It wouldn't let me. I had enough money in there. It was broken. And I called the 800 number on there, and they said, oh, we're open Monday through Friday. I'm like, well,
Oh.
it's Saturday, and my ATM card is stuck in here. So that, that sort of thing is what we want to fix in that business. We want to fix. I don't even want to say fix. There are things we have to do for the employees that work in that space so they can become better, because I will tell you there's tons of testing and interviewing and things that people want to do better. But I guarantee that everyone on this call can mention some call center interaction that didn't have a happy outcome. And it's not just because they didn't get what they wanted, it's because no one understood what they wanted.
That's very curious. Wow. What a way to to detail that what you want to accomplish. This is another level of my speaking knowledge. So definitely I'm gonna be with my ears open really good here because I want to learn that. I see you got a business master and you have political science. And I see, well, before we get to the book part, because I want to discuss a little more about the book, that to be successful is to have a very good relationship with anyone. How far, or the Marriott hotels, right? Not to promote Marriott hotels in my channel, but I did work there for years. And one of the things they do have, the customers always right, even they are wrong. And that translates to they have a very loyal customers. They're loyal. They're loyal all the way with Marriott. They only stay with Marriott chain because they know when they call the call center or they call the front desk or they call the maintenance, anyone in there, it will try to satisfy the problem, what they are expecting to be, what they're trying to accomplish. So Marriott Hotel has accomplished their business growth is on that serving the customer, even they're wrong. So you're saying basically that will be the key relation, the key for your success and what you see that it's been, right?
Yeah, and there are times, right, when customers are not right. I don't want to put levels on them, but it depends on what kind of business you're in, right?
Yes.
I think a lot of us have heard about the story, and I don't know if it's true or not. I have no idea, but I've heard it, where some old man in Seattle returns tire chains for the snow, right? He returns them to Nordstrom. Nordstrom does not sell tire chains, but they refunded his money. Again, I don't know if the story's true or not, but I will also say this. I used to work for SUCCES as a part-time job in my 20s and early 30s because I needed some extra money. And I had a discussion with the manager one day and I said, well, a shoplifter is not our customer. They're stealing from us, and we know they're stealing from us, right? And so I do think that you have to find this balance of really who is your supporter, who is doing right by you as a company. And I do think, having worked in the contact center industry, one of my first learnings for a big account, I was living in Europe, and we had return to vendor. So today, I know many of us have called Amazon and said, I got a wrong package, or the package is damaged, or whatever, right? And they say, just keep it, just keep it. It's because the return to vendor is more expensive than whatever it's worth, right? Frankly, I got a new rug. I don't even like it. But they're like, keep it. And I was like, maybe I can figure out something to work with. But when you start working in the contact center industry, it is about solving problems. It's not about answering a phone call. It's about solving problems. And I worked at one of the Blue Cross Blue Shield health plans. And we had something called uh, customer satisfaction. It was really a complaint line. It had nothing to do with customer satisfaction. And there was a lady that worked for me, and she was as prickly as you could get. Some people would just call her nasty. She wasn't truly nasty, but Theo, the thing she would do for you is figure out the problems. And she was like a little bulldog. I mean, she wouldn't let it go until it was fixed. And that's what we want to look for. We want to look for people who are resilient, who are problem solvers. If I talk to you in the very nicest way, Theo, but I don't solve your problem when you call into my call center, what good is that to you?
Oh, not satisfaction at all.
It's
right?
no good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've been blabbering on.
No. I mean, good. I love it. So now we got a little bit that you provide what you've done and what you're doing. Now I wanna look into the book that you. I didn't have a chance to read the book because I haven't buying it yet. You know, this just happened a couple of days ago. How do you inspire? What inspired you to make a book, and what is the title of the book?
The title of the book is Hack the Corporate Ladder, Move Your Career to the Next Level. And what I talk about in there are a few things. I talk about the mistakes that I made as a young manager. I talk about the 10 things that you really should be talking about that most people don't ask about. And then I talk about planning. Again, this was pre-COVID, so most corporate interviews happened obviously in person before COVID, then remote. But one of the things I say is bring in a portfolio of your work. Anyone on a resume can say anything they want, and guess what? No one's ever going to really check it out. They'll check out where you worked, what your title was, your dates of employment. Much more than that, they're not going to verify. They won't even verify the money you made. And so I tell people, you'll have to bring proof. And I would always do that. Now I will say that we see more people interviewing in person. And so really the book is, it's a bit, I'm going to use the word cathartic. It was a little difficult to write because you're digging into things that can be a little painful. It's only 100 pages. You could read it in a weekend. It's nothing. But it was important to me to do. And I hope, actually there's a physician.
It's important to other people because it was a best-selling.
Yeah. There's a physician, he got a job and he said, I got it because I read your book and followed your tips. And he's a doctor.
Yeah. That right there tells you the book was good. The people enjoy it and people like it. Because otherwise they would not buy a book if they don't interested. They would not recommend it. What's the name of the book again?
Hack the Corporate Ladder, Move Your Career to the Next Level.
Yeah. Well, people, you hear it from the author. Buy the book and you want to learn more. And that happens on 2017, understand?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's got a little time, but I'm working on my next book. So,
are you working on the next book? Very interesting. All right,
and it's about social media and how we do it when we don't have face-to-face connections when we're remote, like this, right?
Okay.
Because it can happen.
Okay, so we're gonna be talking for a long time. I think you can make a book out of me.
Absolutely, my friend.
No worries. I'm an open book, and I tell you whatever it is out there that my story. Is searching for that, looking for the success without fear.
That's it.
Find the American dream. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that book, and that's what you were doing at that time that you wrote that book.
I'm sorry, say that again.
What you were doing at that time that you
Oh,
started writing that book?
I was vice president of strategy and operations for Blue Cross Blue Shield Insurance.
Vice president of strategy
And operations
and
for Blue
operation.
Cross Blue Shield.
You were seeing it oversee what? What's the strategy?
So and it's the state of North Carolina. So I was overseeing strategy and operational performance.
So that means that outside the country or inside the country?
We were headquartered inside, but we had operations also in India and Philippines,
Okay.
and some in South America.
Oh, okay, perfect. So that's where you got that experience, and then you say, "I got it." You wake up one day and say, "I'm inspired. I'm gonna go ahead and start doing this." And how long it took you to finish it?
It did take me a year. It should not take someone a year, but I was traveling a lot, and it just took that long. So
yes, you do travel a lot. Yeah, that's the truth. That's a fact. What it could be a good memory from that process on that book? What's the good memory on it?
I think, Theo, I think the best memory, and this may not make sense to a lot of people, the best memory for me is digging into my heart and seeing what I did not do right, how I could do better. You can stop me if I want. I have it. I just have it here because I'm sending this to a young person. Actually,
If you have extra, sell me one. If you have extra, sell me one, please.
Yeah, you'll get one this week. I'm just going to read this. Just give me a second. It's 3 paragraphs.
No problem. Go ahead.
This book is dedicated to all of the hardworking people around the world. It is human nature to strive, to do the best we can, and to contribute in a meaningful way.
Okay.
To all of the frontline employees, your work is important and has a positive impact on your company and the people you serve. Your effort has purpose. To the leaders, no matter your title, remember that leadership is serious business. Your employees depend on you to guide and develop them. Your leadership is needed more than ever.
Dedicated to those that work hard.
Yeah, I think that's super important, you know?
That's what you can say to what it stays in your heart, and you will say it's a good memories on the book that you put out there. Very good. And how hard was to make that book?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. Because you know how much I travel. Over the year, I was doing video calls with my editor. I remember I was sailing in Greece and trying to do an interview, and my phone camera's doing this. So it was crazy times. So that part was hard physically. I think the hard thing is, Theo, what do you want to share with somebody? Like, what is meaningful? Because anybody can tell you, I don't know, how to cook a good steak, right?
Yeah.
Most people know how to do that, but what is it that you specifically, as someone that wants to contribute to developing other people, what is that message? That's a tough one. I was having lunch with a friend. Her name is Karen, and she pressed on me for that. And she dug it out of me. But because I told her, we were at lunch and I said, I think I want to write a book. She's like, what's it about? And I said, business. And she's like, okay, that's not enough. You know? And so I've known her a long time. So she pressed it out of me. So I really think, what is it that you truly think you can give to people? And, you know, I truly believe that I'm a servant leader. We all have struggles. We all have gifts. We all have something that we can contribute. What is it and how can we apply that? I learned very young in my life. My nephew, I may have mentioned him to you. He lives between Australia, Ireland. He just moved from Nashville to New Orleans. So he and his wife moved back and forth. Basically, they work as carnival people, right? I'd like to tell you he's an international banker, but that's not what he does. And guess what? What he and his wife do are amazing. I've gone to their circus events, and it's really, really cool. And how many 30-year-olds do you know who have lived around the world like that? Not a lot.
Yeah. But you have to be really good to do like that, though. You got to have a system working for you.
I want to say he took after his uncle, but that's not true.
Why not? I believe so. Yes. You have one very smart guy, you know, from the first day that I saw you, I said, you have something, and I believe that part that you say about relation, you got that really down to you, that you know how to make a relation to anyone. You read the people, how they are, and they click. One of the things that I like all about that we talk so much. We know how to talk, innit? We do, right? We talk all the way, 40 minutes, something like that. And we're not stopping.
That's right. That's right, brother.
But I like it. So you right there with me. So I like that. Anyway, you know, when you talk about that music and that charity thing that you do, you know, and I would like to talk a little bit about that, because I always like to help different ways. And I believe early on, I had that interview, that conversation with the young fella. He become an engineer here. He used to be in the projects in Houston about bridges, highways, and all kind of stuff. But he moved back to Honduras because he loves his family. He loves his country, right? And then he see that he can help more over there than over here. But the way he went to school here for is McDonald give a scholarship for $100,000. You have to be a really good kid, that a really good, perform really good in school to be able to get a scholarship like that, you know, that high. So he's a great kid anyway. So that charity thing is in me, and I love when my dog do that kind of stuff, because it's been 2 people from my country that help. I know you help people. It's about the music. What is special with the music, and how you relate it with the people?
And with your permission,
Yes.
I'm just gonna look up real quick El Sistema, and if I could put it in the chat, So,
Yeah.
so I will. It's just El Sistema, and you can look at any country. We serve over 1 million students. We
Yes.
give them orchestral lessons, 10 hours a week, I believe it is. And I'm the treasurer for the U.S. and
Yes.
we serve kindergarten through 12th grade. And so, but we even have sent, in the US at least, we have sent children to university on full scholarship. Full scholarship.
Nice.
It's not about the music. It is about the social connection. It is about closing the gap so kids that don't have the confidence. Everyone wants to say kids that don't have the money. It's not just that. Kids that don't have the confidence, kids that don't have the money, kids that don't have transportation, right? That they can actually get into a program like this and build their career. There's the first young person that we sent in the US. His name is Marcus G. He is at Johns Hopkins at their university for music. And it was so funny. I was in an interview with him. He was maybe 15 or 16. He said, I might want to be a bioengineer. I might want to be a, I don't know, chemist, whatever he said.
Yeah.
None of it said, I want to be a cellist. And this kid, he's not a kid, he's a grown man now, but he plays the cello. He has played at Walt Disney stage in Los Angeles at the orchestra. Sorry, I should know what it's called, but I don't. Anyhow, this young man has really excelled, and others too. He's just the only person that I can remember at the top of my head, and the first person that we sent off to university. So again, it's less about the music. It's more about bringing confidence into these kids.
Wow, Mr. Roy. Well, let me say that Mary saying hello to us. She said, hey, good morning. Oh, because where she at is morning still in California. No, it's already noon, almost. Anyway, she's saying hello, good morning to Uncle Luis and the gentleman accompanying you. So she's saying hello from California, and other people watching it from Honduras too. My mom is watching you, and I hope Miss Vicky said she was going to be watching you too. But anyway, but it was something else that I opened my ears and my eyes on that. While you were talking about the music, is they were supposed to be for like helping what kind of kids, what kind of issues.
So it's open to anyone. There is no charge for anyone. We try to put our programs in Title I communities, which I guess the easiest way to understand that would be say that most of the kids qualify for free lunch, right? So, but you don't have to do proof of income or anything like that. You could make $2 million a year. You could make $2 a year. Doesn't matter. Any child that is enrolled in the program, we definitely want to support. And our friend from Los Angeles, there is so the Los Angeles Orchestra. I should know it better, but it's the big orchestra in Los Angeles. They have the biggest program in the nation, and I've gotten some of my friends' kids enrolled in the program because, again, think about it. Any of us who have played musical instruments, I played in middle school and high school, did not really play after that, but it's something no one can take away from you. Once you have something like that, no one can take it away from you. I've had plenty of jobs taken away from me. I have, whatever. But the confidence and what you bring to the table, no one can take that away from you.
We'll keep in touch and learn more when we travel and to your home, to the airport.
Yeah. We'll talk more on that. And it just so happens in the U.S. the national leader, her husband is from Peru and she speaks fluent Spanish. So
okay.
Maybe something for the future.
Maybe we can talk to him one day, hopefully.
Yeah.
My thing is, because I'm always looking for my country, looking out for my country. And that's why I say, maybe we can talk a little more about that, because I would love to see if your organization that it will help one kid from my country.
We were founded 45 years. El Sistema was founded 45, maybe 50 years ago, but I think 45 in Venezuela. And
in Venezuela.
So
that's where everything begins.
Certain in Honduras we have organizations.
Okay, that's where everything begins. Yeah, we're gonna have to look into to see if the program is there. So that means you're already helping people from there. You on the board of that, or just a member?
No, I'm on the board.
You're on the board. What's that? President, vice president?
No, I'm the treasurer.
Okay.
I'm the money man.
But that's okay. And that brings me to the next step that we're gonna talk about. That talking about the money, and we had a little talk about that because you said in the moment there when we were talking, you said I'm cheap. No. I say you're not cheap. You're not. You know how to spend the money wisely. That's a difference from cheap too. And some people that go out there and negotiate it because they just don't want to give you money. They don't want to pay you what you're asking for. You're trying to save the money to be able to help others, to help yourself. You know how to go to the grocery store and know how to spend the money wisely. I've been learning a little bit. I went to get a orange pop there, right? And I went one time, they had it buy one, get one free, right? So I went a couple of days because I didn't like the orange pop there. And they had it, no promotion. They took it out. I said, man, they play me hard now. Okay, next time I come around, I check it out again. So I went back and they had it again, buy one, get one. And guess what? I buy 4. So I paid 2 and I got 2 free. That is a difference to spend the money very crazy.
So, Tio, I'm just going to tell you, obviously I know that you know the grocery store Publix, right?
Yeah.
And all the time they have a half a pound, 8 ounces of sausage, ground sausage on sale, buy one, get one.
Yeah.
So you're basically paying $4 a pound, and I don't know how prices are around the world, but you can't buy a lot of meat for $4 a pound right now in the United States. A little bit more. So I bought a bunch of that because I'm like, whatever I can use ground beef in, I can use ground pork in, if you eat pork. But I'm with you, man. It's you have to be savvy with those dollars. And frankly, I don't know how young families make it. I don't.
And that's the reason that when you told me that, I said I was not agreeing with you. I know when the people that is cheap, they just be in a be mean way. But you're not spending the money crazy. If you can get a better deal, you get it. If you know, you move on, right? So that to the next person or to the next, but you give to the people. Some
You have
people
to.
don't give a nothing.
And this really truly upsets me, and I'm not going to get political or anything, but I will tell you, I have known so many people over my life that make, to me, what is a lot of money, right? And they don't give a penny back.
Yeah.
And, my feeling is, call it what you want, universe, God, whatever, right? It ain't going to work out for you. If you don't give back, we have to give back. And, I think of a story. My family is not Catholic, but my stepmother was Catholic, and her and my dad went through a hard financial time, and my mother was dying. And she said, I got all the change that I could, pennies, whatever. And she said, I went down to the church and I prayed for her. And I don't know why she died. So I don't want to take it down a religious track. My point is, there is a woman who is my stepmother who was, a replacement for my mom, basically. And she's like, I prayed for your mom. And she said, I gave everything that I had in my pocket to that. My point is, my family has always been generous, and we must always do that. I don't care if it hurts. The person receiving it is hurting more than us.
Very good, very good. I used to be a person that didn't care if anybody would come to me and say, "Hey, can you loan me 20, 100, or whatever?" I used to go, "Yeah, no problem." Guess what? They never paid me back, and so I went broke. I learned the hard way, and sometimes even helping other kids that their own parents, they used to say that I was crazy because I was helping them. So put all that in perspective, helped me to know to spend it wisely. But I never thought about go to the grocery and just grab whatever was there and walk away. Till you teach me that day, till you put me that. And so I'm grateful you teach me that, because now I'm able to see things to save the money, and I can use it to give. Like, a month ago we went to living facility in my city that I have a video on that there. We bring a plate of food to the elder people. We did the nails, we did the comb the hair, cut the hair, we clean the yard outside and everything. So it's the way now that I do it. I don't just because somebody come, oh, I need something, blah blah. No, no, no. Sometimes they just playing you, trying to get something out of you, and you will never see that back. And some of them become your enemy. So I'm learning on that process to, when I go to the store, looking for the best deal for me, and then get it. If you don't have no other choice, and they whatever happened. But talking about that, I would wonder where you got that. Where do you learn to do that? I see that you are masters on business, so I'm pretty sure you probably do that, learn that there. But I
You
know it's a
know, Tio, I don't think I learned any of that from school. None of.
you think so?
I
But,
learned
but,
it
but
from my
what about
parents.
that? What about that company that you helped to save the day? and you had to make sure that things that were spending the right way.
Yeah, so yeah. I learned different things through that, through formal education. But I think learning about taking care of your money, doing what's right for people, um, those those things I learned from my family,
From your
and
family.
I know that we don't all, not all families are the same. I get that. But my parents, uh, my biological parents and my step parents, all four of them, wonderful people, and they've been in my life for 57 years, uh, and they are truly, truly wonderful. But I learn really good lessons from them. Uh, I think of my other half who didn't probably have the same family structure, and you just have to learn. You either have to learn it or you don't want to learn it. In my book, it's better to learn it, but I am biased on that. So I don't know if that's the way you want to go with this,
No,
but
no, no.
I do believe it's more environmental than it is
Environmental.
educational.
Yeah, and I thought that was because you told me that you got in a position that you had to save the day. You were hired to save the day at a company, and I'm pretty sure you had to learn and had to do in a maybe harsh way because you had to make sure that everything was getting done no matter what.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. So one of the hardest times, so when you're in management, it is unfortunate, but at times you have to let people go. I mean,
Yes.
this is just the facts. It's happened to me. Uh, at my age, I hope it doesn't happen again. Cross fingers, but we'll see. Um, but there was a lady that, and I had to lay a number of people off, and there was a lady that I had to call into my office, and she was older. She was not 60, but very, very close. And she had worked for the company for 40 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, right. And so I had to call her in, and I was like, Sheila, I have to tell you, your job's been eliminated. Here's your severance package. And she looked at it, and she gave me the biggest hug, and she started crying. And this is what she said: because of this, I can pay off my car, I can pay off my house. I don't have much more to go on it, and I can retire. Thank you so much. So you never know how these things are going to go,
Yeah.
right? And there's
Yeah.
no textbook that's ever going to teach you that, man. You
Yeah. Yeah.
know. Um, but I do believe if you do the right thing, most of the time, things are going to come out okay. Not every time, but most of the time.
It's not that many company now that give you a package like that, and there's not many
No,
out there.
no, that's true. That's true.
Well, it is wonderful to learn, and I really thought I was on the right thinking, but you learn those things at that time when you were doing that. Now, become well, believe it or not, we already an hour 15 minutes. Amazing.
Oh, really? We've been on that long? Wow. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like 15 minutes.
That's what I tell the people. Next thing you know, you're already there at the time. You know. Well, we're gonna try maybe get to that 2 hours, but for now we could maybe cut a little under. My my throat get a little tired because I talked a couple hours before for a couple hours. But anyway, I'm still gonna be standing here like a good warrior. Um, that can you give me? Because I forgot to ask you, how do we can find your book?
I don't know. Um,
Because I like that the people will listen this and they can go there and on the libraries or go where they buy the books.
um, it's on Amazon. Can
Oh, it's
you
an
take a
Amazon.
photo?
Hack the corporate ladder. And can you go up a little bit? Oh no,
What's
that's
that?
your name. Okay, Robert. Go for it.
Swear?
Okay. Yeah, it's on. So it's an Amazon is the only place, or you
It's
can
on
find it
Amazon. Yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
That would be the easiest and cheapest place to get it.
Okay, perfect. So how many books you sell?
A lot.
Not many. Well, you don't want to say it. That's okay.
No, I really don't know. It's in the thousands. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I just
thought you
don't
didn't.
know.
I thought you didn't want to say it.
My dad does my taxes. He would know.
Yeah, yeah, of course. That would know really good. Um, I would like to talk a little bit. Um, it could be a little hard because the way the country is, um, and political science that you study. I know that the politics here is kind of cruel sometimes because no matter what side you are, someone will hate you and the other will love you, and the other one will do the same thing. Someone that will hate you and they will love you. And my country, we don't have that problem. Well, we do. It's three parties there, but it's like 20 different parties there. So it's kind of hard to hate each other.
Right.
But
Right.
anyway, I like that to talk a little about political science, what you know and your perspective. Why I'm asking this, because I am into fight for my people in my country. In my country, we think we see corruption here. My country is another level
Sure.
corruption.
Sure.
It's another level corruption. That's really bad. Wherever humans are, and so it's gonna be somebody saying this is white, somebody said this is black. It's the same thing. But because that's what humans are. But I want to learn a little bit coming from the professional, from the person that knows, because eventually, if in 3 years or 5, I want to become a congressperson in Honduras, and I wanna get that information before I do that, because I see how corruption is in Honduras, and I wanna see what good I can do for my people. And I think only inside of the game you will fight. I can fight here all day long, but the political people there, they don't care what I say. Now, if I can vote in the Congress, they will care about what we do. So it's a fight that right now I'm trying to get to understand and trying to do that. What can you tell me? How you can guide me to do what I just told you?
I think the easiest answer, and I think it is the best answer, is
It's the
to
best answer.
always be honest, always have the care of the people in your mind. That's the right answer. I don't know
The
that
fi-
it's
the
a
final
successful
answer? The final answer?
I think that you do have to have good in your heart, but you have to do what you think is right, and not everyone will agree with you at all. You know, it's so funny. There were, when I was a lobbyist many years ago, there were two congressmen that I supported. One, who is still in Congress, said, "Hey, can you help me out?" And I raised a bunch of money for him in my 20s, which shocked me. Oddly enough, he and I don't talk that often, but we ran into each other at the Atlanta airport a few months ago. And he's like, "Rob, how are you?" You know, like the dude remembered me. There was another congressman, I went in to meet with him, and he said, "Well, you know, we have an election coming up and I need some money." I didn't raise any money for him. And he's not in Congress anymore either. And so I think that you really have to look at the motivation for folks. You have to look for the care of them, because if you are representing them, they're like your children. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but they are looking for your guardianship over their interest. Children don't realize that. Voters do realize that. And so I would say always put their interests first. I would not, it's hard to say, you know, in the US, there, for a congressperson, there's no such thing as insider trading. It doesn't exist, which seems wrong to me. If you want to make some money, invest in the US, in the US stock markets, and follow where congressional people invest.
That's where the money goes. Okay.
That's where the money goes. It's
Good
not
idea.
illegal. It's not
Good idea.
illegal.
No, that's legal. I mean, just follow them. Follow the
It's
money.
illegal for you and I.
Yeah. Follow the money. Yeah. Hey, Raul, how you doing? He's saying, "Hey guys, Raul." Thank you, Raul. So anyway, that political thing that you're talking about, lobbyists, that's another thing. But I want to lobbyists as an organization that want to help my people in Honduras. How hard is to get it into the lobbyist part of the, you know, because I know there's some organization there, they're there to help the people that are looking for help, special projects like my country or other countries in the world, or people that don't know how to do the lobbyists. What do you think, how they can do that?
And so Luis, I have three different thoughts for clarification. Are you talking about becoming a lobbyist in Honduras? Are you talking about someone in the U.S. that helps Honduras?
Yeah, here.
Or
go to the Congress to do lobbyists.
Oh, I absolutely believe that you work through the consulate. And I don't know where the Honduran consulates are located. Obviously, there's one in Washington, D.C., but there's, I suspect, one in Miami, I would guess.
Well, that part, yeah, but what I mean is to do lobbyists at the Congress over here in the United States. Find a way to have my voice heard, you know, from the things that happen in Honduras, because they don't know what's happening in Honduras. So I want to do what the real truth is over here.
So this is my opinion. And again, just like the disclaimer that you have that says,
yes.
You know,
it's not advice.
It's not advice. It's just my opinion. Yeah. I think that, Theo, what we have to look at is where we intersect. And so, who is it in the United States? Who is it in Honduras that wants a U.S., I'll say representative? I don't mean an elected official. I mean someone that's hired as a lobbyist. And what can they bring? Can they bring some kind of, I don't know, political equity? Can they bring, I don't know, affordable housing? Can they bring whatever? And this is where I'll go with this. So for years, I was vice president of operations at Citizens Property. It's you and I think have talked about this, but it's the largest property insurance company in the state of Florida, third largest in the nation.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people, lobbyists, that make their living off of figuring out who wants to help support citizens and who citizens also need support from. And these kind of lobbyists and Citizens has some fantastic ones, and they're fantastic ones that work with them. But you have to find that common ground where everyone's getting a little bit of something. And so I personally would look at the largest state that have Hondurans living in it. I also would look on the national level. And I would say what economic, because it's almost all going to be economic, what economic interest does Honduras have? What economic interest does this bigger state and Washington have for the Honduran citizens that are living in there?
Okay.
That would be my take on it.
Very good. Very good.
I don't know if it's right or not, but it's
That's
my
a start.
opinion.
That's a start coming from the person that used to do that kind of stuff, the lobbyists, and in a different way, right? In a different way.
Yep.
But because I dreamed to do that, so I'm a few years from now, I want to dedicate the rest of my life will come to do it to help my people, because my people is suffering every single day.
And Theo, this is what, again, my opinion, and this is what I was saying around, if you do the right thing, man, it'll never let you down. If you do the right thing, it will never let you down.
Okay.
It may not always feel good, but it's the right thing.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
My opinion.
Now, thanks, Kevin. I'm learning a lot of stuff right now. Okay. Now, the thing that we were talking in the beginning, when I know what you were doing, what's the thing about, because the concept for Honduras, call center, when we say call center, we thinking about people the government pays to harass the people they are not liking or say something against to them. That's what normally call center we call it, right? But I know it's some business out there. As you know, you went there to do some business and on call center level. What is a really call center? If you can give us a little information.
Yeah, so when we talk about a call center, whether it's on the phone, you see I have my phone here that your grandmother had.
Wow, that's that. Oh my God.
And so when we talk about call center, when we talk about any of those services, it also could just be paper, right? It's not always the call center or a phone. It is about solving problems. You and I have never called a call center to say, have a nice day. We have called because we have a problem and we need that solved.
Yeah.
The company I currently work for, I don't know that I'm allowed to say it in public space, but I'm really proud to work for them. So I'm just going to say it. It's TaskUs.
Go to the other company that you worked for before.
I also started my call center work with a company called Sitel. And then in between all that, over the last 20 years, I've hired a lot of call centers.
Okay.
And so,
but you
is there
represent
a particular track you want to take?
You represent the companies needs the service, or you are the company, like, for example,
I represent companies that need service.
That need a service, but not let's say Blue Cross Blue Shield hire you, or you work for them, or you hire a company that hires a call center.
No, we would work for Blue Cross Blue Shield.
You will work for it. Okay.
So my job is to figure out the solution, and then I have other people on the team that deliver it. And so, you know how this works. Hey, I'm guy A. I'm connected to guy B. We say we want to do business, but guy C needs to deliver this business and then talk back to guy A. Make sense?
What kind of, let's say you want to hire, let's say I build a place in Honduras, which I will have set up 10 phones, right? Set up 10 phones with power, electric, that solve the problem with electricity there. And also we'll have my server for my internet, and that way we'll be 24/7 if you need to. What do you would ask me in Honduras? They say, I'm gonna hire you, but this is what I need.
Yeah, and so some of the things that you would need, to me, one of the most important things would be workforce management. So how many hours, if you say 10 people, how many hours a day are they going to work? But your client, how many hours are you open? Because with 10 people, you're probably not open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Like, that's too many hours, right? If you're open 8 hours a day for 7 days a week, you can do that for sure. Because you have to think about people being sick, just not showing up, going to lunch. What if you don't get enough calls in? Then there's a financial impact. And so you're paying people and they're not answering phones because there's no phone calls coming in, right?
Yeah.
So you have to do analytics on all of that. The company that I work for now, 65,000 people. 16 years ago, they started with 5 people in the Philippines. So, starting a center with 10 people is not unreasonable at all. And probably if you grow to a little scale, might even be a better story. Someone might want to buy you. And then guess what? You start up another call center, right? It happens all the time. And so, but you have to look at that also. Any client that you bring on is going to want to understand how happy the customers are. So there are a few different customer satisfaction ratings, and we've all heard these. If you call Home Depot, it says, hey, hold on the line and we'll give you a survey. That's what that's all about, right? And so they're going to want to understand that. And then there are some basic metrics that'll be very boring to most people on this call. But average speed of answer. So I was at a board meeting many years ago. So you call into, I'm going to ask a question, and there might be people that chime in on chat. I can't see chat, but you can, Teal. And so the question would be, if someone answers the call in one ring, how happy are you? Does that make you more happy? Or if it takes 30 rings, does that make you less happy? My suggestion, and if anyone wants to chime in, love to see it, but my suggestion is nobody cares if you answer the call in one ring. They're like, great, you answered the call. If it takes 30 rings, you're kind of pissed, right? By the end of it, because you're like, I've held forever. And so some of the metrics that people look at, I've seen, again, I was telling you, I was in a board meeting and they said, oh, we had a 2-second average speed of answer, which is really quick. And I'm like, nobody cares about that. But guess what, Theo? It costs you so much money. And so if 2 seconds costs so much money, but 10 seconds is half the price, go 10 seconds. No one's going to care about 2 seconds versus 10 seconds. There's a lot of math, and this is what folks don't understand, I think, generally around contact centers, because I did not, is it is about customer satisfaction, but there is a bunch of math involved in it, a bunch of math. And so you've got to have that, because if you don't have the math behind it, you will lose your shirt. You will lose so much money if you're not good on the math. And so I don't know what else you have to ask me about that.
Well,
I know we'll have many more conversations, but
it's kind of, how do you say? It's a question there because you never know. It might be something I can do.
oh, I think you absolutely could. Again, the company that I work for, which is publicly traded, $1 billion company, they started on $20,000 that they borrowed from their parents with 5 employees. So
5 employees.
still a lot of money, but to go from 20,000 to $1 billion publicly traded, that's a lot. And all they did was believe in making a difference.
Making a difference is what when I call Uber, I used to call Uber, but I get frustrated because nobody solve any problem. They always tell you, "I'm so sorry. I feel your frustration, but we're gonna pass it to the special team." So all the drivers, we all know the line. When somebody say, "I call Uber," oh, so we just tell it, we understand your frustration. We're gonna put it to the special team. So everybody tells that person to say, "I just call Uber." So we know what they told him. He never fixed anything. We never fix anything. They just got traffic, something that will never get back to you. So that's a bad system to do call center.
Yeah, agreed. I totally agree.
So therefore, I'm looking at asking you all these little things because it might be possible to me that they have 5 people working 16 hours a day and they speak English and Spanish. They can take care of two different customers on your company, So, and then we will negotiate, see how good I become.
That's it, brother.
But anyway, that was a good talk about that because we definitely need to learn a little bit we will go deep in detail, as we move forward. I passed my test for my license. I passed
Awesome.
it. Yeah,
Mazel.
that was another gift for my birthday. I'm
That's
just
great.
waiting for my license and I hope and doing transportation, doing that, become a successful on the podcast. I hope I can make some money. And if I retire there, I can build something over there and have one manager over there to oversee the things that happen.
You know I'm on your side, and I'll always be here to help any way that I can.
I know you do. I know you have a great heart, man. And that's what it makes it different. But anyway, now we are 1 hour 40 minutes. Believe it or not, we almost in 2 hours. He probably thought I was, man, 2 hours a long time to be in there.
No, it's actually, folks, and I can't see how many people are in here, but
No, the
Luis
many.
and I talk nearly every week, and we spend about 40 minutes together, and it
Right,
never it seems like 2 minutes.
Yeah, because we do talk. My channel is not the ones that have a lot of people in one time. It goes through the everyday people watching and looking, and because my content is not a crazy content. It's a content that means something for society. So
Right.
most people don't want to see a long period of time, but the person is interested in that. They come and see it, hear, and they'll go ahead and watch it day by day. So very, very few people, and TikTok is more people than the YouTube. But YouTube, in the long run, will bring more people every day. TikTok, they see it one time and they will not see it next day because it doesn't record it. But YouTube is recorded and it's there forever. So people that can come as the people watching it, the algorithm go ahead and send it to other people. It's all depends how people were watching it and that part of thing. I feel that way too, man. Look, believe me, I feel that way. We almost done now. In a business wise, now that you have a master in business and you perspective as being a good salesperson and management and political science and relations, which I think is your main goal. Think you to have a good relation with the person. I think is your key of your success. Um, in conclusion, well, not in conclusion, to tell you something about him, I met a guy that I took it to Marco Island, to one of the most expensive condominium there. I'm talking $3 to $5 million condominium that each unit. But I think he believed he was in the top floor, so that is probably 15 to 20 million. He's a billionaire. But we talk like I do. We do there. And I asked him, what was the key of his success? He said to me, the only thing I made sure is because he buys big company, and sells it later. So he buys it, make it better, and sell. Like a Richard Gere movie type of guy. The same type of business.
Yep.
So big money. And then he told me, Luis, the only thing I made sure when I go talk to the people, I get there a week before. I take them out for lunch or for dinner, depends on that day. Talk to them, become a friend with them, find out why is that decisions being made. And from that point, I go ahead, present offer, And they say almost 100% they do sell to me because I treat them the way I want to be treated. So that means it creates a relation. He creates a relation, and that what it makes his sell. He's buying at a lower price, but he still get through that. So that's a story that I learned. And when you were talking, first thing I noticed when you say that about relation, knowing that we get along very well, not because I'm the greatest driver in the world, and because your skills of relation, it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Of course, for some people be good, for some people it's not good. But to me it is. Because before money, I like that people treat me like a human being.
You know, and Theo, one thing that you said that I think is really important, and I want to make sure that I'm saying it correctly, but a few sentences ago, you said something about they treated you the way you wanted to be treated. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I only know it in English. I don't know it in Spanish. But, you know, they say the golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated. I think we've all heard this, right?
Yeah.
But years ago, probably 15 years ago, I heard the platinum rule, treat people the way they want to be treated. And there's a difference. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. Treat people the way that they want to be treated. It doesn't mean that they can be abusive or anything like that, but there is a difference. So that's the difference between, in my opinion, the golden and platinum rule.
Interesting. So
because you know people, you know how they act, you know how, and if someone, I don't know, like my stepmother hates to be called ma'am. She's 84 years old. She's like, that's for an old person. I'm like, well, you're kind of an old person.
You're not that young.
She grew up in Chicago, and she now lives in the South and has for 60 years. But when people say ma'am, she thinks it's disrespectful, like they're calling her old. So guess what? I tell my nieces and nephew, don't call her ma'am, just say grandmother, you know, because that's how she wants to be treated. It makes her feel better that way. And it's nothing off of them.
And so going back to the business part.
Yes.
I would like to know, as a businessman, as a business master, and all these skills that you have, what do you think about that when I say you give me an analysis? You already been in Honduras. You know a little bit about Honduras. You think that's doable to do that stuff, or how that can make it work? You know, stuff like that.
Yes. I think that it can work for sure. I think what one has to figure out, again, opinion, not a professional opinion by any means, more of a personal opinion. But I do believe you have to steer clear of any corruption, and every country on the face of the earth has corruption. We know this. Because it'll drain your bank accounts too fast. What I think we have to find are the legitimate ways that are good for the people, right, that we are serving, good for the people that are employed, and going forward along there. But I have been involved with, many years ago, involved with organizations in the Middle East that want to get pay for play, and financially that just doesn't work. And so I would say that, again, we've talked about this, putting the needs of the people that we serve, and I don't mean necessarily the people writing the checks, but the end users. We have to give them the best experience, and then they're going to continue to be loyal to the people that actually write the checks, right? But then if someone else has their hand in the money pot, that's not going to work. Nor do you want to be involved with that.
Okay.
And it,
Right.
unfortunately, sadly, it's in every country as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And then you probably don't know that, but because you don't know the prices. In a system that to have 5 people, what do you think investment will be? I'm talking about having 16 hours, 1 manager, 5 people. I mean, just an idea, nothing with the system, with everything. That was a hard question.
It's a hard question. It's a hard question. I'm gonna, it depends what kind of service you're looking at. I do think that you have to look at around 50,000
50.
US. That's what I think. But man, that's a hard guess. And I know that you and I spend a lot of time together, so we'll sit down if you ever want harder numbers, and you can share those with your viewers.
Yes.
But that's a guess, because it's not just about paying the people. Now, and I think I shared this with you, one of my best friends runs a call center for a European skincare company. They're really small, but you can find them in every major airport in the United States.
Oh,
He handles their call center with 2 cell phones, his cell phone and his assistant's cell phone, because they don't get a lot of calls, right? So, and he makes a lot of money off of this. I'd say a lot, but trust me, for the work they're doing, it's a lot of money. I'd do it. And so I think it just depends on what industry you're looking at. To be frank, probably if you're looking at a population that likes to talk a little more on the phone, like maybe a more senior population, like, my sweet stepmother, she's all alone and I love her to death, but my goodness, she thinks anyone that talks to her on the phone is a friend, and they want to talk forever. Well, guess what? If you own the call center, that's costing you a lot of money. If my mom calls, so Diane Gofourth calls, hang up.
so I should put a no call from her.
That's right. Don't take her call. And so it really depends on the population. Whereas, I think people more in our age range, certainly people younger than us, they don't want to talk on the phone. If you can do it on an app, if you can do it on your computer, do it there. And it's a lot cheaper. And when we see artificial intelligence coming up, Gen AI, and all the other verticals within AI, it's going to become cheaper and cheaper. And it's not going to put people out of work. It will reduce things, but none of us have enough labor right now to do everything that we need to do. And so if the easy things can be answered by AI, then we can apply the harder things to the humans, because you cannot have artificial intelligence without humans. You just can't.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. I like that. We will look in a couple more years, 2, 3 years. We will look into that really good. Because now I got to work hard and make some money to build that kind of money. Anyway, but it's a good information. It's a good information.
But
So
it could be
now we
less.
are.
It could be less too. You know, it
It
just
could be less. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
That's a
how.
rundown. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and call it done for the day. And
Okay.
we talk some more tomorrow.
All right, sir.
I just wanna do appreciate you. Thank you for what you've done for my channel. I have a hard time to get the American people or English speaking people to come and talk. Uh, I don't know what, but whatever it is kind of hard. With the Hispanic people, they're more open. They say, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's do it." Even though they speak to thousands of people before, you still feel like that's gonna be how it's gonna be. It's my first podcast. I told you you're gonna be fine. We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna talk some good stuff. And we did. And we did.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
very fortunate to have you. Thank you very much. And
Thank
I'm
you for the
sorry.
invite. It was so much fun.
Yes, it is. Oh, now you're gonna do this like a pro. You will have
All
no
right.
problem. When you finish, maybe later on you can watch the video and listen what we talk about. Because
Yeah, I will.
you will hear yourself and you will see yourself. And then you
I
say,
don't
man,
know if I want to do that.
do that. Do that because that will break the ice and that will make you more open for the next time.
All right.
That will give you an idea. I think it's a great thing, especially you're gonna go ahead and do the books. I think if more people will know about your book, more people you can help with your book. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's
Yep.
the reason that you made the book. You don't make the book for you. You made the book to give the best of you to the people,
Beautiful.
right?
Yes, sir.
So Amazon hack the corporate ladder.
Hack the corporate ladder.
There you go. Looking
All
for
right.
that book and Amazon. And pretty soon, Mr. Robert will have all kind of social media to put the book out there too, and
Yes.
you can interact with him. But this is your channel. Anytime that you feel you want to say something, promote something, I don't care what you want to do. What I care is you to come forward to my channel and say, Luis, I want to do this in your channel. My channel is for you. I just want you to say that, to say bye to the nieces and nephews of the universe, of the Uncle Luis, the one and the only one. Make no mistake, I'm the one. You can go ahead and say, the last words. Well,
All
the
right.
ones
Well, nieces and nephews of Tio Luis, I hope you have a great rest of the day. I hope that there was something useful. I am most certain that we will talk again. And Tio, I'll see you tomorrow.
see you mañana.
Oh, thanks.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down, and that way you can close your computer there. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Well, people, we had a great time with Mr. Robert. He has a lot of knowledge of call centers, business management. I didn't know that he was political science. It was phenomenal. Really, 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 we did. So buy the book, Hack the Corporate Ladder. You'll find that in Amazon. It's a really good book that will show you it will guide you to different things and how you can go up to the next level, any corporation that you will be. I thank you for you attending to my program today. Very, very fortunate that you've been with us all the way to the Soy Paraíso. Gracias, Paraíso. Thank you, Paraíso. We had a good time with Mr. Rob. Tomorrow I gotta take him to the airport. We'll keep talking. My voice is getting really bad. So remember, God is on your side. Para aquellos que no entendieron, por favor, pónganle el subtítulo para que pueda entender lo que Mr. Roberto estaba diciéndonos. Mucha buena información. Muchísima buena información. Muy agradecido con él. Recuerde que Dios está a su lado. Nunca lo olviden. Vamos a cerrar a Vigo. We're going to close Vigo now. Come on. Okay. We're going to close Rumble or Instagram. Again. Rumble. Let's do Rumble. And we're going to close Instagram. Victoria Roman. Hi, Victoria. Gracias. Thank you, Vicky. Tired now. Okay, we close Instagram now. We're going to close. Mr. Robert still there? Bye, Mr. Robert. Okay, we're going to close YouTube. Mary, thank you. Raul, thank you. And I know there were few there, but they probably don't understand what we were talking about. God is on your side. Never forget, Dios está a su lado. Nunca lo olvide. Amen.